This is Kathy Biker from Central Texas Technology Center, and this is for College Algebra, section 6.2. And this section is also going to be solving three equations. And we learned this technique in the last section, and it's called the Gauss-Jordan method. And we're going to do that, but we're going to have some funny results here at the end. So I kind of want to show you how to do these type of problems. So here's our first example, and I've changed it already to an augmented matrix. So we've got all the numbers in, and we're ready to get our zeros down here. We want this to be a 0. So I'm going to multiply row 1 by -2, because then I can add these two together and get 0. So my rule is going to be -2 times row 1 plus row 2 into row 2. Okay, so that's my plan. All right, so I take -2 times row 1. I get -2 plus 2 is 0, and I put it here. -2 times -2 is 4, plus -3 is 1. And -2 times -1 is 2, plus -1 is 1. And -2 times -5 is 10, plus 0 is 10. All right, so now I'm going to put all the other numbers down. 1, -2, -1, -5. And 3, -4, -1, 1. Okay, I've got my first 0, so next thing I'm going to try and get 0 right here. So I'm going to multiply row 1 by -3 and then add it to row 3. So -3 times row 1 plus row 3 into row 3. All right, so that's going to be our next matrix. So -3 plus 3 is 0. -3 times -2 is 6. And I believe that's -1. Let me make sure here. I took -2 times there before. It's 1. Positive 1, I guess, is what that is. Let's hope that's right. Let me check it again just to make sure. -2 times 1 is 4, plus -3 is 1. And we put into row 2. So this is -4 from right here. Okay, so this is -4. Okay, so we're going to take -3 times row 1, which makes that 6, plus -4 is 2. And you have to be careful on all these calculations because there's so much of it, and one little error messes everything up. So -3 times -1 is going to be 3, plus -1 is 2. -3 times -5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. Okay, so I can copy the other rows down. 0, 1, 1, 10, 1, -2, -1, -5. Okay, I have 2 of my zeros. Now I need this to be 0. Well, I can just add, it looks like I can just add row 1 and row 3 together. But let me explain why I would not do that. Is because when I add the 1 and the 0, I get 1. And if I replace row 3 with that 1, now I've lost this 0. So I always want to work with row 2 when I'm trying to get this last 0. So I'm going to multiply row 2 by -2 and then add it to row 3. So -2 times row 2 plus row 3, and then put it into row 3. And I put those notes there so later I can figure out what I did. All right, so -2 times 0 is 0, plus 0 is 0. So that remains a 0, which we want it to be. And -2 times 1 is -2, plus 2 is 0. That's what I wanted. And negative 2 plus 2 is 0. Well, that's not quite what I wanted, but that's what it happens. And negative 2 times 10 is negative 20 plus 16 is negative 4. Okay? So now I copy everything else down. 0, 1, 1, 10, and 1, negative 2, negative 1, negative 5. Okay, now at this point I've got the 3 zeros, so I look at the bottom row, and look what I have. 0x plus 0y plus 0z is negative 4, which means I have 0 equals negative 4, which is not true. So let's look at the second line up here. I have y plus z equals, oh, what was that supposed to be there? 10. Okay, it's a 10. Equals 10. So y is equal to 10 minus z. I'm going to put everything in terms of z, and you'll see how my answer looks. So go to the first row. X minus 2y minus 1z equals negative 5. But I know what y is. Y is 10 minus z. And then I bring this minus z down, equals negative 5. So I have x minus 20 plus 2z minus z equals negative 5. All right, so I have minus 20. I'm going to add 20 to both sides. And I get x, and put these two together, and I have plus z equals 15. So x equals 15 minus z. So my answer is, my x is 15, whoops, I forgot to put z here. This is z. I have 15 minus z and 10 minus z and z. And that's how I would write my answer, which means I can pick any number for z and I'll have the other two. For example, if I let z be 1, then 10 minus 1 is 9, and 15 minus 1 is 14. So I have 14, 9, and 1. So look at the first equation at the top up here. 14, which is my x. If I can get it up, I don't know if my cursor will go there, but 14 minus 2 times 9, 14 minus 18. If I take x minus 2y minus z equals negative 5. So I take, this is a 1, my y is 9, and my x is 14. So 14 minus 2 times 9, which is 18, minus 1 equals negative 5. And if you do that, you do get negative 5. That's a true statement. And if I put it at in the other two, it would also work. So that's using the same technique, but not getting the same results at the bottom and how you handle that. And that's all that's in section 6.2. So go look at the assignment at the top and give it a try. And I will see you next Wednesday, and you can turn your assignments in then. And have a great weekend. And right now when I'm recording this, it's before Easter, so happy Easter to all of you.